what depth or what width of content are you able to consume? Sometimes if the OTP doesn't come for 2-3 minutes, it's like lifeline is lost, and millennials and Gen X and Gen Z and Alpha. Currently, their focus is on work-life balance. Spend enough time to understand. Don't say that today I don't have money. When I have money, I will think about it.
Yeah.
Start now.
Subramanian, welcome to the show. It is such an honor to have you here with us.
Absolutely delighted to be on your show once again, Payal. I hope we'll have a great conversation today.
I'm sure, because even earlier when you were on the show, the entire episode, I remember, had so much of appreciation with the way you shared your entire journey. But today, as we go deeper into what it takes to be the leader of tomorrow, and I love the topic that you have chosen, just let us know a little bit about your career journey of how you got to become the MD at DHL Express India. What was your journey like?
Okay, just in terms of my background, I am an industrial engineer and I passed out of Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore, IMB in
Okay.
1990. But in my 35 years of working career, I think I have the opportunity to work in, I think, three exceptional organizations. Yeah. So I started with EIL after my engineering. Then after management, I joined Hindustan Lever. And then after 14 years in Hindustan Lever, I joined DHL. And I've been now in DHL now for 21 years. So sometimes when I look at my past experience, I think I'm lucky and I'm blessed to be working in organizations of this nature. So why do I say that? Because EIL is, I think, a very unique public sector company. Great depth of technology and engineering expertise, but very, very professional organization. Great place to start your first few years with. Um, Hindustan Lever, all of you know, it's a Hindustan Unilever now. It's an FMCG. But it teaches you basics of product management, how to be consumer focused. Yeah, that's the biggest learning from Hindustan Lever. And more importantly, in your formative years, you get into assignments where you learn to manage people, you manage teams, you manage hierarchies. And in my case, I think my biggest learning with Hindustan Lever, apart from the functional expertise on marketing, is on managing change. Yeah, I joined in Hindustan Lever and I joined into a company called Brook Bond.
Okay.
Then Brook Bond merged with Brook Bond Lipton, became Brook Bond Lipton. Then it got merged into Hindustan Lever. So over the first 5-7 years of my working, I walked through different change management routines needed to align the ground and change the organization and manage the dynamics. I've managed small businesses. I've in fact run about a year of animal feeds business in Hindustan Lever, and I have done export business in Hindustan Lever before I came to DHL. So therefore, it gives you an opportunity to manage mature businesses, commodity businesses, sunrise sunrise brands, as well as businesses which possibly are going towards sunset and low margin businesses. So quite a variety, and it's an environment of very competent people. So you learn a lot, and that's really good for formative years.
True.
I moved to DHL is a different challenge, right? I used to all product led businesses I used to handle. Now I jumped to a service led industry and selling services, right? Logistic services. So in terms of that change, it's personally a big transformative journey. But also, I said I was lucky because what can you say? The best way to say it is caught the curve in DHL, because DHL was in its very formative years in India in 2004. That's the way and shape it is in. We ran into the global crisis of 2008, 2009, and then emerged out of it into a global transformational journey for the business, which really benefited a country like India. And since then, it's been a fantastic journey for 15 years of really learning and growing. In a sense that we've set a new benchmark for people, not just in the logistics industry, but across the board for following in the country, if I can say that. Because I think the DHL's fundamental approach to doing business is very sound. Their guiding principles, their the bottom lines and stakeholder management they do is extremely good. And that founding principle and basics of how DHL does business really resonate with me a lot. So therefore, I found my emotional and cultural fit, if you say, with both the Hindustan Lever and DHL, and which is one of the reason why I spent such long years in both of them,
Mm.
and still learning and still growing. It's absolutely fabulous 35 years, if you ask me.
Very nice. I mean, that's so good. But I'm sure in these 35 years, for you to mature as a leader, for you to grow into different roles and take up more responsibilities, you must have had some habits and practices that have helped
Hmm.
you to become what you are. So, what are some of those habits and practices that you feel can really help somebody to grow?
See, that's an interesting question, but I think there's a lot of hindsight wisdom. Yeah, if you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying. So look back,
I'm
if I
sure.
look back at how I used to work when I was starting my job in
Mm.
1990 to how I work today, there's something which have remained the same, but I won't even recognize the person of 1990 in 2025. Um, so it's not a prescription list, it is my experience. Yeah, it's my experience. There are certain
True.
daily habits which, more than habits, I think it is attitudes which make you. Yeah.
Okay.
I think for me, for me, the way to look at it is number one daily habit is to prioritize. Yeah, you should know how to prioritize the thousands of moving parts and pressures which land on you on a day-to-day basis.
Mm.
And as a leader, you need to maintain focus on what is it that you need to do and how you don't get sucked into doing things which are possibly done by others, should be done by others, need not be done by you, can be delegated, can be done at a different point in time, etc., etc. So this is a fundamental work, which is how do you prioritize, and how do you prioritize work and life? Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm using I'm using the word work and life because that is how it is normally called. But I don't believe that there is something called work and there is something called life. Yeah, I think
Yeah, it's very integrated. That's true.
work is a significant part of life. So I call it work and non-work. Okay,
Yeah.
your life at work and life at home. You can call it like that. Life outside work. Yeah.
Yes.
So therefore, how do you ensure that in each of these zones you are able to remain focused? When you're at home, you're able to be immersed at what is needed at your home, which is family and everything else which you do outside work. And when
Mm,
you're at work, how do you ensure that your life doesn't distract you at work? Yeah. So
true.
that I think is fundamentally important. It's a mindset and it is important. Second daily habit, which I thought, which is important, is reading. Yeah, it used to be traditionally reading. Now you can say reading, podcast, listening,
Yeah.
seeing, viewing. How do you consume? How much, what depth or what width of content are you able to consume? Yeah, I would say that read widely. I
Mm,
read anything and everything which comes in front of me. I read in English, I read in Tamil, I read in, I read fiction, I read non-fiction, I see Bollywood, I see Hollywood, I
mm.
see all sorts of things. Yeah. And I see non-fiction, I see documentaries, I do podcasts, I do news. The wider is your interest area and more you consume, I think it is better as a leader. Yeah. I think a leader should be jack of lot of trades, and if he is master of a few, it is very good. But it is
Mm.
important that he is a jack of a lot of trades. Yeah, you need to have wide areas of interest and appreciation because you are interacting with a wide spectrum of people. Yeah, your width in terms of understanding and knowledge and appreciation is important for you to be able to interact with the board,
You
all walks of life. Yeah.
I want to hold on to this thought that you said. Reading. You are the
Yeah.
MD right now. You are at a position where I'm sure time is, really something that you are battling with because you have so much on your plate to do. I know many people must be wanting like to know that where do you find the time to read? Because a lot of people, they would be telling this, oh, I don't have time to read, Payal. I have so much on my plate. And they are mid managers, they are people who are in the MBA, and they are studying and joining as freshers. You hear everyone consistently saying, where's the time? So I think this is something we want to know from you. Consciously, how are you taking out the time to read? And with so many aspects, you're reading everything, you're putting your mind and gaining knowledge from everywhere, and that's the best thing to do.
Mm.
How are you doing it?
I think there is no singular prescription, right? I read when I'm traveling, I read when I'm in the flight, I read when I'm in the car, I read bedtime. I read at least for 15, 20, 30 minutes before I fall asleep. So I have a set of books lying around me. So therefore, and typically I read hardly non-fiction, 40, 50 pages, and I go on to the next book. That's a bad habit I have. I have so many books lying with me, all of which I have read 50, 60 pages.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I'm a very, what I call, desultory reader. I
Yeah,
read
but it's
a book,
consistent.
10
Consistently, you are
page.
reading.
I read 30, 40 books, 30, 40 pages of one book. Then I go to something else, then go to something else, come back to this book, go to something else, go to something else. So that's how I read. But
Hmm.
it's okay. But I'm nibbling where I can. What interests me, I read it in full.
Hmm.
So yeah, therefore you have to find time, right? There's no good place. There is no. I will be wrong if I say that daily I get up and then say I read for an hour. Yeah.
Hmm.
So sometimes I read for 3 hours. Sometimes 2, 3 days
Wow.
I am not able to read. Then again I read for an hour. I read in the flight. I read in while I'm traveling. Wherever I get an opportunity. But I think on a weekly basis, even if you read for 3, 4 hours, I think you're doing a great job.
I think
Yeah.
that's fantastic because,
Yeah.
like you said, when you're traveling, you're reading. Some people prefer that. Okay, I'll just rest in the flight, but you are consciously making an effort to learn, read, keep yourself active on this, and I think that's one of the best habits
No,
someone
now there
can
is
start.
content overflowing, right? There's so many
Absolutely.
things which come. You get things shared with you all the time. Somebody's sharing a podcast, somebody's sharing a PDF
Yeah.
file on the
Mm-hmm.
WhatsApp. They're sending you newspaper articles to read. So the I think it's you have to you have to have a mind for it. I think consuming and the content is king, right? If you know things, if you have basic appreciation of a lot of items, I think you
Yeah.
are one step ahead in your daily challenges. Yeah. The third
Absolutely.
item, if I have to say daily habits, you should have a hobby,
Mm.
something which will help you switch off and maybe have your 10 minutes of personal day. It might be cooking, it might be gardening, it might be music, you may be playing a game, you might be spending some time in the gym, whatever. Something which is
Makes you.
your personal time within the personal time is
Yeah.
needed. Yeah.
What's your hobby,
Other
Subramanian?
item I would me I do gardening, if I can say that,
Wow.
in
Okay.
Bombay,
Yeah.
balcony
So
and
much learning
inside
from
and whatever. I
gardening, I
like
must
to
say.
I like to maintain my small. I used to have, I
Plants and all.
think I
Yeah,
have
there's so
40,
much
50,
learning from it.
40, 50 pots around my
Wow.
flat, revamping them all the time.
Okay.
Um, I like to go to the gym. I do some
Mm.
yoga, and I still go for long walks. Yeah,
Mm.
so something which gives you me time. So that's part of my exercise. Have your own exercise and fitness routine is another habit I would like to say, because leader needs energy,
Mm.
and your daily 60 minutes of something, yeah, whichever be the routine you do, that's important for you to keep your mobility and mind
Mm.
fresh.
So
So
needed. I
therefore, you need to
know.
have
Not
regular
everybody
routine.
talks about hobbies. I must tell you that. So
Mhm. So I would like to paint, but I'm still waiting for a time to learn. I'm more of the
it will be
techniques, but
interesting to see that though.
I do little bit. I do draw. I do sketch.
Oh,
So
nice.
but, yeah. So there has to be something which you call me time. So four,
Yeah.
five things which is daily, with different items, but it keeps you, um, I think, fresh and fit in your
Mm.
mind, body, and in terms of intellect. Yeah.
Okay. That's great. What else? Any other
Yeah.
habits or something?
See, other thing which is important, if you ask me, is what uh, touches me is digital.
Mm.
Yeah. The ability to adapt to. what is going around you, right up to the latest AI tools in front of you. Yeah, I don't know when I went to the bank physically last.
Absolutely.
I don't
Yeah.
know when I went to a travel agent to buy something. And so for the life around you is changing. And sometimes if the OTP doesn't come for 2, 3 minutes, it's like lifeline is lost, Or if your
Very
mobile
true.
phone's battery goes down, you're in deep trouble. Yeah. So
Yeah.
therefore, I think I think the 5, 6 things which need to do daily and which keeps you on your toes, I think, is how
Mm.
to maintain your work-life
Very
priority
right.
and maintain
Absolutely.
focus, how to exercise, how to be in tune with changing systems and automation around you, have a wide range of content consumption.
Yeah.
I can call it. Reading is a bad word or a legacy word, but read and listen and
Yes.
hear and see, and more importantly, build a hobby.
Very true. Now, Subramaniam, digging deep into what it takes to be the leaders of tomorrow, you
Hmm.
have dealt with different generations, and we have the Gen Z now coming into the workforce. So what are some of, in your experience, what are some of the qualities you feel which are different from the leaders of yesterday versus the future leaders that we are building now?
Interesting you speak about this aspect because this year DHL published a 5-year roadmap, global uh, strategy 2030.
Hmm.
It talks about 5 mega trends which are important for the business in the coming 5 to 10 years. One of the mega trend is called as evolving workforce,
Okay.
which is to say that apart from the boomers and millennials and Gen X and Gen Z and Alpha, different work groups who are likely to come into play. There are 2, 3 levels here, which is people who are coming into work, and the leader also is changing, right? We used to have more boomers as leaders. Now millennials are leaders. Gen X is now becoming coming into the leadership position. They all bring different attitudes and thought processes and styles into the workplace. Plus, I think across these 5, 6 categories which we
Hmm.
typically talk about, the attitude towards work life has changed during and post pandemic. Yeah, a
Okay.
lot of
Yeah.
them have discovered, even if you're a boomer, you've discovered that flexible and remote working is possible. It's not a Gen Z item, it's for everybody. Everybody, for a different reason, would like the flexibility, want to be remote in some cases. Um, Businesses, some of the businesses, for their own business modeling, want you to be remote, even if you don't want to be remote as an employee.
Hmm.
So therefore, and there is whole emergence of gig workers. Yeah, people who really do not want to work permanently. So therefore, the expectation from employees, expectation from businesses, the various dimensions which are available to a leader
Hmm.
to manage his business model
Hmm.
suddenly gone through drastic change in the last 4, 5 years. So this is the paradigm in which we're looking at. But traditionally, we say that no, traditional leaders, operational discipline, they need to be
Yeah.
resilient, they have
Yeah.
deep domain knowledge, they value structure, hierarchy, they like long-term stability. Then there is foresight and experience they bring, etc., etc. This
Hmm.
is traditional image of what a leader
Yeah.
is.
True.
Yeah, but then now you see that in the coming age and what we see today, there's a lot of agility. People are very tech savvy. They're
Very.
very comfortable with rapid change, ambiguity,
Hmm.
multitasking.
And they enjoy it.
But there is and they enjoy it. They like
Hmm.
it. They want upward mobility much faster. They need traction, and more importantly, their focus is on work-life balance. There's a lot of
Yeah.
significant dimension to employee well-being. A lot of them are willing to be flexible on pay and work conditions for themselves, for others, as long as there is a give and take and it plays in some places. But
True.
uniformly, they're all tech savvy. There's a lot of focus on learning. There's a lot of focus on um, innovation. There's some amount of social consciousness which has come in. So these are dimensions in which there's very
Changes are
um,
happening. Yeah.
different items which are in front of a leader, and you need to be able
True.
to adapt to it. If you come with the same thought processes, great. Otherwise, if you are having people with these thought processes coming up as your first level, second level
Mm.
leaders, how do you think through that? How do you align yourself? How agile are you in your mind? How flexible are you in thinking? How much are you willing to empower and delegate and let the new thought processes take over? Will determine how successful you are as a leader. Yeah. But
Absolutely.
therefore, the challenge is when millennials and Gen X leaders come in. Yeah, they come into your organization. That is something which is important.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, company like DHL, we are working with 15, 20,000 customers on a daily basis. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm
The
sure they have a
decision
lot of
makers in all
generations.
these customers' hierarchies are changing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no longer are they waiting for a salesperson to come and do a door knocking.
Mm.
Their buying habit, their consuming habits have changed. What
Yeah.
they expect from a service provider has changed. The
Mm.
business to business interaction is no longer the traditional, you have a fixed time and you come and on an appointed hour, shake hands and sit in front
Mm.
of each other, make a presentation. Life starts much before that, right? Your user ratings are visible and your performance and
Yeah.
reviews are visible to somebody, and they've already done their internet research on your product and services. 70% of the sales story is already done by the time you say hello to the customer. Yeah.
True.
So therefore, the dynamics has significantly changed, and organizations are one, the leaders are grappling with it, and organizations are also grappling with it, and that the diversity which is there. For example, when I look at our organization, at one end I have 25% of our employees are Gen Z,
Mm-hmm.
and 25% of our employees are millennials.
Ah, okay.
30% of our employees. This is a full spectrum.
Oh,
Few
okay.
boomers possibly here and there, but
Mm.
the entire spectrum is available with us. And how do you celebrate this diversity? How do you engage all of them? Is important. Yeah, we talk about teamwork. We talk about being as one team. In all our work processes, there is significant insistence on cross-functional team members working. There is significant amount of combining experience with young talent to work together so that both of them can feed off each other's competencies. Then for example, simple things, symbolic gestures are also important. So we have a Generations Day celebration every year. Yeah, so
Oh,
something
that's
or the
nice.
other which is neat. So we, so then
Nice.
cross-functional team is a big thing. Senior staff inducting and training
Mm.
the newcomers and working with them on projects is another big thing. Um, I think it is important for the leaders to be adaptable,
Yeah,
combining the old and
very
new.
true. Yeah, because a whole new
Um,
generation is entering and we have to retain them. We have to make sure that we are able to attract this generation, sustain them, and help them grow into tomorrow's leaders.
yeah, yeah. For example, there is this concept of the jargon of reverse mentoring. Yeah, so gone are the day when the leader was mentoring his team members, team
Ah,
members were mentoring. But personally, I have benefited the most by interacting with across the levels of the organization, right
true.
from frontline to
Hmm.
people. You spend reasonable amount of meaningful time. You find time to sit with them, chat with them, ask them
Hmm.
about their aspirations, throw a question, try to answer a question, get into a discussion with them, and so that their point of view is very clear to you.
Right. Yeah.
I think you come back richer. Yeah.
Yeah,
More
absolutely.
importantly, you're relatable to each other. So engaging with different organization levels, I think is and
Hmm.
age group is absolutely important. More than them, I think I get inspiration
Yeah.
from some of them, and more importantly, we get tons and tons of feedback. And quite a few people ask questions: Why don't we do this? Why
Hmm.
don't we do that? That drives our
And it
thinking
opens up the
because
pathway of communication.
no, more than anything, it puts on the table what are the aspirations and expectations your team members are having.
Hmm.
And
That's
most
interesting.
important for that, I think, is to maintain an open office. Yeah.
True. That's
So
interesting. But
not
I'm
a slave
sure.
of your schedule.
No, but I'm sure, Subramaniam,
Yeah.
with what you said now, that there is a lot which the traditional and the yesteryear's leaders, as well as the future ones, have to learn. And now we are not only talking about AI, we are also going into a meta world, right? Like there are there's
Mm,
so much happening in that world right now. So there's so much happening in the meta
mhm.
world. There are so many new things coming up there. We are even preparing for that world, which is very near now. So AI is one, and that is going to be there. Now, when you look at people for hiring or to be a part of the team, or even in general, what are some of the very key qualities you feel that you are looking at when you want leaders around you?
See, two, three things at a very basic level. So there is a role, and there's therefore a role profile, technical competency needed for
Hmm.
the role, some amount of experience profile and exposure which is needed for the role, which are all given. Yeah. I think what I look for in people is their culture fit. Yeah.
Hmm.
How will they work in the team for which they are taken? That's point one. Second is I look at them for what is their upward mobility, meaning they're able to do a job today. Will they be able to do plus one, plus two, plus three
Hmm.
going forward? Meaning, so for that, you should have the attitude should be interesting. The approach to doing work should be good. More importantly, learnability should be good, and your ability to work with people should be good in a business like ours. So we're taking somebody not for a job, for a task, but if somebody is taken with a longer term view, he should be having the what can I say, the bandwidth to be able to do more than
Just,
what he comes in for. Yeah. So
yeah,
that makes
right.
the organization richer, that makes the individual richer. It gives
Hmm.
them a career, not a job.
Correct.
And so that's what I look for. So therefore, that's the personality profile of the person.
Hmm.
But I think people who need to come in, I think it's absolutely essential that they are tech savvy. I think it is essential that they are mobile.
Right.
Yeah, some amount of remote working
Yeah.
removes that mobility need, but I think it is important for them to be flexible in their mind, to be able to see different places, not be a behind the table manager.
Hmm.
Being mobile is another item which I look for. It's slightly
Um,
traditional thought process, but I think that's still important.
I like that thought. Don't be behind the table type of a manager.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
I
really
can't sit in my seat for more
I
than 20
remember,
minutes.
yeah, I
Like
remember we
we're not
had
going to
this
start walking.
discussion and how you are
I keep walking
always with
around.
your people. And I think that's awesome. I had even liked that so much that, you're always talking with your people, always being there. I always give this example to everybody who I meet that how you are
It's called
always.
MBWA, management by walking around.
Yeah, yeah. But even when you and I had spoken earlier, I had liked this concept that you had said that I don't come to office the days I have meetings. So that was really something
Oh
that
yeah,
caught my attention.
absolutely. When you have scheduled meetings, there are a lot
Yeah,
of them are calls. Then there's no need to be in office, sitting in the office room, unless there is
yeah,
something else in between I want to do.
correct.
When my calendar is clean, I'm not traveling, then I'm sitting in office, sometimes doing nothing in my room, thinking about something, or all walking
Yeah,
around
isn't that
talking to
great? I mean, that's a very different perspective, huh? But that was something which I really caught on. But
So
so
I keep telling my wife, saying that my calendar is clean today, I'm going to office. She said, why should you go to office? Be at home. I said, no. So
actually, that's
calendar
the
is
way
not
people
work.
think. That's exactly the way
Yeah.
people think today. I don't have much in the office, so I can work from home. And I really liked this completely different perspective that you bring. Today, the calendar is free. Let me go to the office. And I think that is something consciously which really helps and very different perspective.
No, meetings alone are not work.
Hmm.
Yeah. So that's important. I don't
Very
fill
true.
my calendar. I keep telling my managers also that 20% of your calendar, if it is free, that means you are very efficient.
Hmm. Okay. Otherwise, people
Yeah.
believe a lot in
Yeah.
meetings
Otherwise,
after meetings, huh?
yeah, end to end, if you fill
Yeah.
your day with meetings, which are completely scheduled, then you don't even have the little flexibility needed for you to
Hmm.
sit and think about something, prep for something, or again, there are unforeseens which are coming. How do you find time to think about them without breaking your meeting schedule? So
Yeah.
have
Very
gaps and
true.
run things tight will be
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
So, Subramanian, before going
Hmm.
to the leadership
What else?
rapid fire round, I want to know if you were to give one piece of big advice to the listeners, what would that be so that they can also be successful at what they do?
See, there's a very interesting concept I read about a year or two back. Because 10 years back in some training program, one of the speakers introduced me to this world called VUCA.
Mm,
Yeah, we live in a VUCA world. Yeah,
mm,
volatile, uncertain, uh, complex, and ambiguous
mm,
world. And then, so that time I thought, like, this is one of those jargons. Just like, it's okay. People find nice acronyms. But in the last year or two, I've seen demonstration of each one of them. How life is volatile, how life is uncertain, how life is complex, how life is ambiguous. So about a year back, I read a short piece on um, how do you manage in a VUCA world. I think something which has really stayed with him and with me, and it really resonates.
mm,
It's from a book called Leaders Make the Future. Yeah, so it's by an author called Bob Johansson, I think. Yeah, Bob Johansson. I read a summary of the book, then I found it and searched and found a short write up on the concept of how do you manage the VUCA conditions. It says volatility yields to vision. Yeah, so then I found that each one of these four items is what is important for leaders of today and tomorrow. Yeah, volatility leads vision, which is saying if you have a clear sense of direction,
mm,
you can direct your teams, inspire them, and ensure that in spite of ups and downs, your business is having this the way to go. Second is uncertainty. Uncertainty can be managed with deep understanding.
mm,
A deep understanding of moving parts in the business is absolutely essential for a leader. Yeah, the third one is about complexity. The complexity yields to clarity. That's what the book says. It's fantastic because we used to have a competency called clarity of purpose. Yeah, the clarity cuts through all the noise and clutter, and therefore you are always simplifying complex problems and keeping it actionable, worry about controllables, and that moves the business forward. So that is important in a complex world. And more importantly, ambiguity. When things are ambiguous, you need to be flexible and agile on your feet. Yeah. So like in cricket terms, if you're on a bouncy track, how nimble you are on your feet and your footwork saves the day for you. Yeah. So therefore, ambiguity, you need to be agile. So
mm,
I find that the vision, deep understanding, clarity of purpose, and being agile.
mm.
These four items are absolutely essential for managers of this day and age.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
And that will hold them good for going forward. If I had to give what points for you to think about, these are the four items you should think about. There's many things which come as a corollary of that. If I need to have a vision for my business, if I need to have the deep understanding of my business, if I need to have clarity, if I need to be agile, what are the 10 things I need to do? Yeah. So,
Mm,
and those 10 things are different for different people, but you can make your own, what can you say, regimen for yourself so that you are top notch on each of them. But I think you're on top of your game if you're able to manage these.
very nice. I think that's really apt in the way we are going towards the technological world. So, moving to our next round, Subramanian, leadership rapid fire. Whatever comes to your mind
Mhm.
immediately, a word or a sentence, would love that from you.
Oh God. Yeah,
Okay, so
I'm
let's
getting ready. Yeah.
yeah
Uh,
let's begin with that. So whatever just comes, let's see what how your
yeah,
quick
yeah, yeah.
thinking is out there. A must-have leadership quality.
Hmm. I think you have an attitude for continuous improvement. Yeah.
Okay,
What do you
okay,
have? Continuous improvement is core to a lot of things we do.
absolutely yes.
Um, for example, in DHL, in front of me, there is a poster which says everybody, everywhere, every day, a little bit better.
Oh,
You're
that's
always
nice.
looking for, and therefore you're willing to take feedback. You're willing to find out what went wrong yesterday. What can we do
Hmm,
today?
hmm,
As at an individual level, what can I do things better? So that makes you learn more. That makes
yeah,
you
and you're
engage more.
definitely
That makes you a growing leader, right?
and you're definitely a testimony to it because when you said reading and the amount of time that you're dedicating to that learning and improvement. So definitely a one for you. What's the one big thing you wish you had known when you started off your career?
Yeah, that's an easy one actually. If I was, I think everybody should learn very early in life. Ideally, as soon as you start earning, to know how to manage your personal finances.
To know how to
Managing
manage
personal
your
finances,
brand.
starting investments early on.
Hmm.
I wish I had known right at the beginning of my career. If anybody who comes to work, anybody who starts working, I tell them spend enough time to understand. Don't say that today I don't have money. When I have money, I will think about it.
Yeah,
Start now.
very
Start
true.
now.
Very nice.
So if somebody had bullied me into doing things in the late 80s and early 90s,
Hmm.
I think I would have been even more. I would have been far better off. I have no complaints today. But I was a late starter to
Um,
the game of managing your finances smartly.
Very nice.
That's
Yeah, I
something
think it's
people should.
very true. Most of us realize it pretty late, huh? So that is very correct what you're
Yeah,
saying. We just get
absolutely.
very happy
Yeah.
as we are earning the money and then we are using it in different ways, but investing it
If
and
for a
growing
long
it
time you have no
standing.
money, then when you have money, you are
Yeah,
happy spending them. And
yeah,
then
like
you look at
this.
it and say, I don't have enough money to invest, so let me
Exactly.
have good fun.
Like you make money work for you. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
What's your personal mantra or a quote or a saying that really pushes you through the day?
Mm. Okay. I think I should rely on what we say, right? Keep the main thing the main thing. Yeah.
Mm.
So you get
Right.
so much frills and comments and problems, like I said, complex problems. You remove the skin, peel the layers,
Mm. Mm.
cut to the chase, simplify them, and get to the crux. Yeah. In all things, many times the accessorial problems trouble you the most.
Yeah,
If you address the core, everything else will follow. Yeah.
very right.
Knowing, keeping
True.
the main thing is
Mm.
something which I keep telling myself. So, for example, if long discussion, you say like, okay, moti baat kya hai, batao. Yeah.
I
Cut
know.
the chase and come to what is the crux of the problem. If you
Yes.
know answer for the crux of the problem, everything solution can be built around to
Build it
address
up. But
the
I think
collaterals.
I have seen you when we have met, we have spoken. I'm sure your meetings are not the ones that just keep on and on and on. Even when I have sat with you, we have spoken. I have seen the discussions are so natural and so on the spot. So I think that is something which is very in you also as an individual.
See, I go with a list of points to discuss. Yes, we
Mm,
have either structured meetings or we have an open discussion. So with my senior management team, I have two meetings in a month. One is structured, which is business review, and there's a schedule, and therefore we go through it.
mm,
So other is slightly an open canvas. I go with saying these are 10 topics we want to discuss.
mm.
Yeah, and that is more freewheeling discussion.
You're right.
I should resist the temptation to talk and let others say, and I'm still learning not to
Really.
not to have a lion's share of the conversation.
Right,
So, but I
right.
think we are better now. So,
Good.
yeah,
That's
therefore, open conversation is important. All
good.
ideas on the table is important. Listening and making the other person feel that their thoughts have been listened to and adapting to all thoughts around you
Mm.
is important. Yeah, so
So
it's a
which
tough
super
ask because usually as a leader, you know everything. And
yeah,
to know that somebody else knows better is a
better.
discovery,
And
and you
that
should
should be the
discover it every
case.
minute.
Yeah. And that
You
should be
should
the
discover
case.
it every minute, like I said. Your, your assumptions are questioned all the time, and you should be willing to let them be questioned. But I
Very
think keeping the main thing helps cut through the clutter, remove the frills, get down to the crux of the matter. I think that's important on a daily basis. That's critical.
nice. So
Yeah.
which superpower would you choose, Subramanian? Invisibility or mind reading?
Invisibility.
Oh, you would like to get invisible?
No, I think I will choose neither. I don't want either of them. Yeah.
But
Yeah. So
if you had to pick one, what would it be?
see, both are against my style. I don't want to be invisible. Yeah. So though it is tempting to have the superpower and go around
Uh,
snooping what others are doing or know what others are thinking,
uh,
but if you ask me, it takes away the mind reading takes away the joy. There is a, I
yeah.
think there is
That
an old
uncertainty of knowing people and what their actions
fable
are.
which says that if you know exactly what is going to happen in future, what the other, no, if you know
Yeah.
exactly what the other person is thinking, it is a
Yeah.
recipe for going mad. Yeah. Humans filter everything, and you should give them the liberty to filter. Yeah, they say
Yeah.
nice things about you. You need not say that, oh, this man is thinking bad, but saying
Yeah.
good. Well, it's okay. Take it at face value, and life is not lost. Yeah. So I'm not, I don't want mind reading, and I
Really
don't want
okay.
invisibility. Invisibility is not for leaders. Leaders
Mm,
have to be visible,
right.
and when they are visible, they should be acceptable.
I like
And
that.
they should be, I won't say liked, but they should be admired and supported
Mm,
and
mm,
accepted for what they are when they are visible. So both
mm.
are, it's okay. It's a theoretical question, but no, I don't want either of them.
Okay, so we go to the last one. If you could change something about, in the corporate world, what change would you bring?
Oh, I'm not, I don't think I have enough wisdom to prescribe. I would think sustainability. I think
Mm,
we can do more and more on sustainability, use of plastics, consumption of energy, cleaner environment, really doing things the clean way, and building awareness with your own consumers and customers
mm,
on what long-term impact they can create with sustainable practices is something which I think
mm.
some corporates are doing a lot,
Yeah.
but a lot of corporates can really do. The second one I would think is more purposeful work for people. Yeah, help people find a purpose, help people engage more with the society outside,
Mm,
your own team members. Yeah, initiate them on the process. This again, some corporates do well. A lot of them, rightfully, in the flow of things, don't have time for it.
yeah, true.
I think corporates have an opportunity to make a difference in both these sides. Some of them are growing up to this thought. A lot more can be done if everybody is able to do something. For example, in the past, long back, when somebody asked me, "So, what is your approach to what do you contribution to society?" I said, "We have, let's say, that time, if I'm not wrong in that discussion, we had 2,500 employees." I said, "We have 2,500 employees, maybe five people or four people in a family, for 10,000 lives.
Mm,
We are directly in some form or the other influencing." Yeah. As a company, if we run a tight ship, we run a very compliant business, we have best practices, we tell people how they interact with each other at work, and that rubs off on how they run their life at play. They're economically stronger, their
mm.
life is progressing. Single biggest contribution to society is running your business very well.
Absolutely.
Running your business very well and impacting the lives of your employees and their extended family in a very positive influence and positive manner. That's our single contribution. Yeah. So I think that makes a big difference and that we can do far more.
Absolutely. That was so good. I mean, that entire conversation with you, Subramanian, has been really enjoyable. And thank you for taking the time. I know how your time is and you're traveling also. So thank you so much for taking the time to be on this podcast.
It's a pleasure always to have a conversation with you, Payal. I hope your listeners like the conversation and we'll have
Absolutely.
one sometime in the
I'm
future.
sure.
Yeah.
So
Thank
this
you.
one's for our listeners. This is Payal Nanjiani wishing you loads of success in your career life. God bless.
Thank you.